Every year, on the Sunday closest to Valentine's Day, we present a selection of poems, readings, and music that illustrate the many kinds of love that can be experienced in this life. Catherine and I have worked together to find today's selection of readings, and we will be offering them here in our alternating voices. I invite you now to sit back and open your hearts to the poetry, readings, and songs that we have chosen for you today. Some of them are favorites that we have heard before, starting with this one. From the contemporary Irish poet Padraig Ó Tuama, here is The Facts of Life. That you were born, and you will die. That you will sometimes love enough, and sometimes not. That you will lie, if only to yourself. That you will get tired. That you will learn most from the situations you did not choose. That there will be some things that move you more than you can say. That you will live. That you must be loved. That you will avoid questions most urgently in need of your attention. That you began as the fusion of a sperm and an egg of two people who were once strangers and may well still be. That life isn't fair. That life is sometimes good and sometimes better than good. That life is often not so good. That life is real, and if you can survive it, well, survive it well, with love and art and meaning given when meaning's scarce. That you will learn to live with regret, that you will learn to live with respect. That the structures that constrict you may not be permanently constraining. That you will probably be okay. That you must accept change before you die, but you will die anyway. So, you might as well live, and you might as well love. You might as well love. You might as well love.
Poet and author Lilia Cuervo was the first Latin American woman ordained in the Unitarian Universalist tradition. From the 2020 UU anthology, Conversations with the Sacred, her poem, My Heart Will Wait. My heart will wait. You, who are always present in my every breath, who permeates every cell, every instant of my life. You, my beloved, for whom I desperately long. Where are you? My soul cries out to you with the distress of an abandoned child. Yesterday, I felt held, at ease in your divine embrace. I felt solid, contented, dwelling in eternity. Now, everything has changed. The magic feeling imperceptibly dissolved like gossamer clouds in the infinite azure. In time, all changes, all erodes, all dissipates. My heart, however, consumed with desire for your presence, will not change. In quiet vigil, it will pray, it will wait, without need for assurances or for certainty. It will chant your love, and it will wait.
Alice Walker is a Pulitzer Prize-winning Black American author and activist. Here is her poem, I'm Really Very Fond. I'm really very fond of you, he said. I don't like fond. It sounds like something you would tell a dog. Give me love or nothing. Throw your fond in a pond, I said. But what I felt for him was also warm, frisky, moist-mouthed, eager, and could swim away if forced to do so.
A practitioner of Zen Buddhism, Rabbi Rami Shapiro, promotes the study of perennial wisdom, the mystic heart found at the core of all religions. From his 2015 collection, Accidental Grace, Poetry, Prayers, and Psalms, I choose you. I choose you. I choose you this day to love and confide in, to hold on to, and reach out from. I choose you this day to believe in and to share with, to learn from and to grow with. I choose you this day to give you my heart. Jack Kornfield trained as a Buddhist monk in the monasteries of Thailand, India, and Burma, and is one of the key teachers to introduce Buddhist mindfulness practice to the West. The following selections are from his 2002 book, The Art of Forgiveness, Loving Kindness, and Peace. Love creates a communion with life. Love expands us, connects us, sweetens us, and ennobles us. Love springs up in tender concern. It blossoms into caring actions. It makes beauty out of all we touch. In any moment, we can step beyond our small self and embrace each other as beloved parts of the whole. Love is based on our capacity to trust in a reality beyond fear, to trust a timeless truth bigger than our difficulties. Love is without demands. Sometimes love means standing firm. Sometimes love means letting go. Sometimes love means letting be. Love blossoms whenever we step beyond our fears and rest in the generosity of the heart.
Shalane Harkin is a contemporary poet who writes, who writes in the spiritual tradition of Rumi and Hafiz. Here is her poem, Love Awaits You There. It's easier to notice pain than love. Love is the silence in the robin's throat that inspires it to sing. Love is the silent mantra of the universe that keeps things spinning. Pain is the tree that crashes in the forest. Love is what grows from the fallen. Love is the silence cupped in the perfect folds of the autumn leaf, the beauty that dances through everything when your worried mind has finally stilled. We forget to notice love because of its perfect loyalty. Morning dew diamonding the grass, the extra sparkle in snow, for what other reason need it be there? The unconditional warmth arising daily to fill your sky, the ongoingness of flowers. Pause, dear one. Love awaits you there.
Richard Wegemes, an Ojibwe books, including the acclaimed novel Indian Horse. From Embers, one Ojibwe's meditations. Love is not always the perfection of moments or the sum of all the shining days. Sometimes it's to drift apart, to be broken, to be disassembled by life and living. But always to come back together and be each other's glue again. Love is an act of life, and we are made more by the living. In his book, Embers, Richard Wagamese includes dialogue with his elders. In this selection, he is speaking to Old Woman. Me, tell me about love. Old Woman, it is our only real choice, the only thing that we can truly give. Me, how do we do that? Old Woman, choose it above all else. Love is you leading me back to the highest possible version of myself. It's me leading you back to who you were created to be. It is the most important choice we can make for each other. Me. Those closest to us, you mean? Old Woman. No. Everyone. Everything. Widening our circle at every opportunity. Me. Sounds hard. Old Woman. So is being born, but we all do it. Chi-miigwech, Richard.
There are many talented poets in the First Unitarian community. I encourage you all to continue to love poems about everything and share them with each other. Today, I'm very pleased to share a poem called Creature Love, written by our own Eileen Cummings. He emerged from the tall grass next to the water faucet outside our house. With a crow of joy, I lifted him up. What a pleasure to hold his satisfyingly plump body in my small hands. Feel the perfect smoothness underneath the lumps on top. His protruding yellow eyes looked at me, a trace of smile on his appealing face. I could feel the palpitations of his tiny heart, the up and down movement of his breath. Mother let me hold him a while, then made me put him back into the grass. But next day he was there again, and again for a few days following. Mother always made me put him back into the grass, but in the meantime, I carried him in the hammock of my skirt, stroked him, sang to him, told him stories. It got so I could stand near the faucet and call, "Froggy," and to my joy, he'd come creeping out, not hopping, because he wasn't actually a frog at all. He was Anaxyrus boreas, or more commonly, the North American western toad. I loved him, warts and all. How I wept when he disappeared. I would have happily kissed that toad. Perhaps I did when Mother wasn't looking. All I can say is, had he magically transformed in that moment to the fairy tale prince, it would have been the sharpest disappointment of my young life. Thank you, Eileen.
Unitarian abolitionist Henry Wadsworth Longfellow was an American poet and educator writing in the 1800s. The Arrow and the Song. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth, I know not where. For So swiftly it flew, the sight could not follow it in its flight. I breathed a song into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For those who has sight so keen and strong, for who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of song. Long, long afterward, in an oak, I found the arrow still unbroke, and the song from beginning to end I found again in the heart of a friend. Nikki Giovanni is a poet, writer, activist, and educator. One of the world's most well-known Black American poets. She wrote in a recent biography, "I highly recommend Old Age. It's fun." This is her poem, Love Is. Love is. Some people forget that love is tucking you in and kissing you goodnight, no matter how old or young you are. Some people don't remember that love is listening and laughing and asking questions, no matter what your age. Few recognize that love is commitment, responsibility, no fun at all unless love is you and me.
Our next poem is from the Zen Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh, from his book, Call Me by My True Names. The poem is called Interbeing. The sun has entered me. The sun has entered me together with the cloud and the river. I myself have entered the river, and I have entered the sun with the cloud and the river. There has not been a moment when we do not interpenetrate. But before the sun entered me, the sun was in me, also the cloud and the river. Before I entered the river, I was already in it. There has not been a moment when we have not interbeen. Therefore, you know that as long as you continue to breathe, I continue to be in you.
Maya Angelou was an American memoirist, popular poet, and civil rights activist. She remains a beloved voice for many. Touched by an angel. We, unaccustomed to courage, exiles from delight, live coiled in shells of loneliness until love leaves its high holy temple and comes into our sight to liberate us into life. Love arrives, and in its train come ecstasies, old memories of pleasure, ancient histories of pain. Yet, if we are bold, love strikes away the chains of fear from our souls. We are weaned from our timidity. In the flush of love's light, we dare to be brave. And suddenly, we see that love costs all we are and will ever be. Yet it is only love which sets us free.
And our final reading today is from Jan Richardson. It is called Blessing That Meets You in Love. It is true that every blessing begins with love, that whatever else it might say, love is always precisely the point. But it should be noted that this blessing has come today especially to tell you it is crazy about you, that it has been in love with you forever, that it has never not wanted to see your face, to go through this world in your company. This blessing thought it was high time it told you so, just to make sure you know. It has been shy in telling you this. It has not been for any lack of wanting to. It's just that this blessing knows the risk of offering itself in a way that will so alter you. Not because it thinks you could stand some improving, but because this is simply where loving leads. This blessing knows how love undoes us, unhinges us, unhides us. It knows how loving can sometimes feel like dying. But today, this blessing has come to tell you the secret that sends it to your door, that it gives itself only to those willing to come alive, that it vows itself only to those ready to be born anew.